Yo, what is up guys? Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Jesse Rodriguez defeats Cuadras by a unanimous decision to pick up the vacant WBC super flyweight title. Of course, in that division, Estrada is the franchise champion. So, you know, that whole situation is what it is. But going into this fight, this was a huge step up for the young 22-year-old Jesse Rodriguez, and in my opinion, he passed this test with flying colours. Cuadras, of course, is very tough, very experienced, been in there with, you know, some of the best fighters in the world pound for pound, you know, including Estrada, Roman Gonzalez, and he always gives these guys problems. He's a really good fighter, Carlos Cuadras. Maybe past his best now, but he still has bags of experience and he still is a good fighter. And bear in mind, Jesse Rodriguez was going up in weight to take this fight on short notice. I believe Rodriguez campaigns at flyweight, however this was at super flyweight. And yeah, really good performance by Jesse Rodriguez. First round was quite close. Cuadras fighting in his usual style. He really likes to put his punches in bunches, particularly to the body, with wide sort of looping hooks. And he was, you know, throwing those body shots, but I felt Rodriguez was tucking up quite well, and he was countering really effectively down the middle. Cuadras, of course, an orthodox fighter, whereas Rodriguez was a southpaw, and yeah, in that first round, Rodriguez found a home for his straight left counter, and he was countering effectively down the middle as Cuadras was throwing those looping body shots. So the first round was evenly contested. I guess you could say the volume was with Cuadras, but the quality definitely was with Rodriguez. Round 2 was more of the same, but I felt that Rodriguez upped his output. He started to go to the body more as well, and again, he was countering really effectively in the second round. You know, Cuadras was still working away, as he always does, but Rodriguez was doing a really good job at times of kind of catching the shots on the gloves and then coming back with counters. But yeah, another competitive round, but it was clearly a Rodriguez round. Round 3, Rodriguez started really well, once again landing that straight left hand, and then his uppercuts came into play, both with his lead hand, his right hand, and also his left hand, and he dropped Cuadras with an uppercut in the third round, and it was a beautiful, beautiful move. So he landed a jab out of a southpaw stance, then he stepped around to Cuadras' left, and then he landed that uppercut on Cuadras' blind side, a la Lomachenko. Really good move by Rodriguez, and it dropped Cuadras. Really good shot by Rodriguez. I don't think Cuadras was seriously hurt, but, you know, he definitely felt the shot. Round 4, once again, it was a case of Cuadras working hard. And I'm not saying he wasn't landing shots, because he was. He was always working away, trying to get to the body, trying to throw uppercuts through the middle, etc., etc. But Rodriguez was just far too sharp for Cuadras, particularly early on in this fight. And yeah, you saw Rodriguez really take advantage of the fact that Cuadras doesn't really throw straight punches, whereas Rodriguez is technically very proficient. He's really good at throwing those straights, whether it be the jab or the straight left hand, and those shots were working throughout. I also liked the straight left hand to the body from Rodriguez, but you know, he was landing that low a couple of times, I have to admit. Round 5 though was a better round for Cuadras. He actually kind of got really close to Rodriguez, and he maintained a good work rate, throwing uppercuts through the middle, and I felt he actually outworked Rodriguez in the 5th round. You know, just, you know, uppercuts through the middle, body shots, short little bursts of combinations. Again, Rodriguez was blocking a fair few, but his work rate was superior in the 5th round, and I felt that Rodriguez's output dropped, so I gave the 5th round to Cuadras. Round 6, once again, Rodriguez regains control, boxing behind his jab, a real hard jab as well, throwing that straight left hand down the pipe, walking Cuadras onto that shot. Again, at times he was stepping around Cuadras and completely making Cuadras reset. Some beautiful boxing in round 6 by Jesse Rodriguez. His accuracy in this fight in general was extremely good. So yeah, round 6 I felt Rodriguez boxed well. Round 7 again though, Cuadras came back. You know, he was trying to test the will of Rodriguez, and again he got close. He kind of collapsed for pocket, threw the uppercuts through the middle, hooks around the side. He was landing his overhand right in this round as well, like a looping overhand right, and it was catching Rodriguez. And I felt round 7 was a pretty good round for Carlos Cuadras, arguably one of his best rounds in this entire fight. Again, work rate was superior. It kind of looked like Rodriguez was taking the round off kind of thing, but regardless, I felt that Cuadras won round 7. Rounds 8 and 9 were pretty routine, in my opinion, for Jesse Rodriguez. And again, all of these rounds, Cuadras was throwing shots, and he was throwing a fair few shots, but I felt that Rodriguez was just doing a really good job of blocking, parrying, and he was certainly coming back with the more eye-catching shots and harder shots, no doubt about it. And yeah, I felt that rounds 8 and 9 were just more examples of that. Round 10 though, I felt Cuadras won this round. He started to actually really try to force Rodriguez back in this round, and Rodriguez was obliging him by trying to box on that back foot, popping the jab. The jab was landing, but I felt that Cuadras' pressure was far more effective. He threw more punches, he landed more punches. Again, nothing too special, but he just outworked Rodriguez in the 10th round. And in rounds 11 and 12, when Cuadras needed a grandstand finish, I felt it was Rodriguez who was controlling the action, who was landing the better shots. And in round 12, Rodriguez actually, in my opinion, somewhat stunned Cuadras. I don't think the commentary team picked it up, but to me it looked like Cuadras was slightly stunned in the last round. And yeah, Rodriguez won this fight clearly. I had this fight 9 rounds to 3 with a knockdown as well. So Rodriguez, in my opinion, looked really good. Bear in mind, he's 22 years old. He only had 14 fights before this, and he'd only ever been 8 rounds. I think, 8 rounds was the furthest he's been previously to this fight, and he's gone in there with a tough veteran in Carlos Cuadras. He's gone the distance, and he's won the majority of rounds, and in my opinion, he looked pretty good, and he's only going to get better. 22 years old, he's got a lot of room for growth, in my opinion. Now, after this fight, where does he go? It's funny because he said this fight really just presented itself. The opportunity was too good to turn down. Ordinarily, he's a flyweight, and I think he said after this fight he's just going to vacate this title and go back down to flyweight. I've got no problem with that whatsoever. There are still some really good fights for Jesse Rodriguez at flyweight. For example, I'd love to see Rodriguez fight Sonny Edwards, for example. That would be a great fight. Junto Nakatani, Artem Dalakian, Julio Cesar Martinez. Those are all really good fights for Jesse Rodriguez. He also said that he could get down to light flyweight, and at light flyweight there's a couple of good fights for him. Jonathan Gonzalez, Felix Alvarado. These would be really good fights. So yeah, the future is bright for Jesse Rodriguez. Don't be surprised in a couple of years that this guy is entering certain pound-for-pound lists. I think the guy is very talented, wise beyond his years. He's got really good composure, lovely footwork. He's got really nice feet, really nice balance, lovely accuracy, sharp counter-puncher. He can mix it up, and he showed tonight that he can go rounds against a tough guy. So very promising fighter, Jesse Rodriguez. Really enjoyed his performance. Share your thoughts below. It's been your guy Del Boy. Peace.